Gentlemen, happy Reformation Day to all the Lutherans out there and all the Calvinists and Presbyterians and everybody. And tomorrow is All Saints Day, so happy All Saints Day to all the Christians out there. We got the G-Shock toolbox open, all right? And we have a bunch of G-Shocks. A lot of them have been dying to get out. Some of them are dead, actually. So when I say they're dying to get out, they're dead. They need more sun, all right? They're just not getting enough sun in the G-Shock toolbox. The ProTrek PRW, what is this one again? The PRW 3500, all right? This one needs more sun. See, it's even reminding me. Charge, charge, it's saying. And, these lights in here just, are enough, but it senses lights. Ralph Reinhardt, I'm doing well. How are you, sir? And what else is dead? I believe that the king is dead. The king, yes, the king needs to be revived. All these watches are just in the G-Shock toolbox. Imagine a G-Shock toolbox that inside of it was illuminated and you could charge up all the watches, all right? I know Philip Lahell gets after me about this. Why won't this shut? Oh, hold on. Let me poke all these in here. Like, when it's shut, all right, so we're not getting any multiband 6, we're not getting any light. So obviously, these watches they're dead. It's like they're in a coffin, right? They're gonna die, okay? Well, boom, we fling it open and, giving them some light. But how amazing would that be if the G-Shock toolbox had lights built inside of it that, it was illuminated inside, right? And maybe a relay for multiband 6. Anyways, speaking of light, this watch, the ProMaster Land U822, has a light gauge that, you go through the menu, and as I showed you guys before, the menu is different, right? Whole different paradigm for navigating the menu. But this middle crown, it's not even a crown, it's a button. You can view light level. So right now, level 3, very low. It's just one light here. By the way, I'm in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And thanks to Shane, we got some good accommodations. But we have one light that I'm going to be able to use here, which is, level 3, all right? But when you press these other buttons, it will show you a graph, all right? You see that graph right there? See all that light I got? Right? So we can see the light usage over different days and for the past few hours. So the light level now, the light level the past few hours, and the light level over the day, right? So this light level was when I had my arm on the door of my truck as I was driving, getting plenty of light. The other hours in the day, I was actually at the shop working on equipment, okay? So right now, we're at level 3, all right? And so I don't think I showed you guys all these other menus in the rundown of this ProMaster Land U822. So I wanted to show you guys that now. And one other problem with this ProMaster compared to the other G-Shocks is that a lot of other G-Shocks, you hold down one button, it's just going to bring you back to the main time screen. No having to run through a menu just to get back to the main time. Okay, and so maybe that functions here on the ProMaster Land U822. I have not seen it, but let me just show you what I'm talking about, and we'll get out the Rangeman, the GPR H1000, that if you were in the menus, somewhere in the menus, like, and if you lost track of where you were in the menu, no matter where you are, you just hold down this back button. You just hold it down, and you're going to get back to the main time screen. And even on my favorite watch, we have that function, which you guys, I don't know my favorite watch, the Mudman G-Shock GW 9500. Same thing. You're in some crazy menu, you get lost, you don't know where you are, no problem. Hold down a button. I think on this one you got to hold down this mode button. There's no back. You hold down the mode. And did you guys hear that beepage? Got you back to the main time screen. So none of that on the ProMaster Land U822 that I've discovered. All right, if you are in a menu and you want to get out, you're going to have to navigate that menu. All right. Ralph Reinhardt says Happy Halloween. He's watching Night of the Comet. All right. Is that Halley's Comet? Halley's Comet, which ushered in the birth and death of Mark Twain. Or is that a movie that I missed out on? Night of the Comet, a horror movie. Family YouTube says, hi. Hello, Family YouTube. Thank you for showing up. And so, the light level, I was talking about how the ProMaster Land displays a light level, right? So, wouldn't it be nice to have a light level on these hyper advanced watches? You know, like the GPR H1000, the Rangeman. That would be a function that I would love to see on these hyper advanced G-Shocks, you know, with all the MIP screen, like the Rangeman GPR H1000, and also the GBD H2000, which quite honestly I like better than the Rangeman GBD H2000. As you guys know, I encountered some durability issues with this Rangeman, the Gen 3 Rangeman. But it would be nice to have a light level so that you can have an idea, you know, exactly how much battery you have. Like, for example, right now we have 1 bar on the battery because, of course, it's in the G-Shock toolbox, hasn't been getting a lot of sun, right? Now, having a light level graph would let us know, you know, what we're in for, right? Because if we're trending up on the graph of your light level that the watch is seeing, then you know, maybe we can expect to make that bar last a long time. And my experimentation with these MIP watches, the GBH 2000 and this one, the Rangeman, the solar charging itself is only good for 1 bar. There's like 2 batteries inside of here, and you get a lot of sun. You're not going to fill up the whole battery system with solar charging. It's a supplemental. Ralph Reinhardt says, Night of the Comet is an early 80s horror movie. Check it out. It's a good corn. All right, so it's a corny movie. I'm assuming it's campy, so we'll check it out. Is it family friendly? Can the kids watch it? You know? Is it like along the lines of Godzilla in terms of horror? Or is this like after the kids are put to bed? The Night of the Comet I'm talking about. All right, and so now the look at how long has this been in here? The battery level's on high. All right, so I mean like a light level on this one might be superfluous to the fact that the Mudman just sucks in that solar charging, right? And it's on high. It's still on high, even being in this box for the past few days. Now, the Rangeman is a little bit of a different story. Where is it right now? It's still on medium. Now, without having like, you know, a voltmeter to actually, you know, stab each end of the battery and see what type of amps we're dealing with, we're going off of low, medium, high display on each one of these watches. Now, I caused quite a lot of controversy by pointing out that the Rangeman never got to high for me after buying it and wearing it, you know, for a couple weeks, right? And the Mudman never got off of high, even though it's locked in the G-Shock toolbox, right? And, you know, the Rangeman boys, the Rangeman fanboys were like coming to defend the Rangeman and attack me for even suggesting that, you know, that the solar charging the battery system of the Mudman is superior, okay? And I think it was Gary made a point that, we don't know what level each one of these watches displays, low, medium, and high. I mean, maybe the range man splits it up in thirds. So, medium would be between 33% and 66%. Maybe it's different for the Mudman. We don't know that, right? But I'm just telling you what I've seen. This is just, my observation, which is that under the same scenario, so like I'm the same type of wearing, the same type of sunlight. The Mudman gets to high on the battery, and it stays high on the battery, right? And a lot of people didn't like that. I think it was Steve. I forget his name. Steve. Steve said that it was kind of a dummy for wearing a sleeve. I have to wear long sleeves at work, right? To wear FRs. And even though I wear long sleeves, I have long arms, so the watch is always poking out. It's not always covered. And as you saw on this light level, that when I am outside, the watch is getting plenty of light. All right. Still getting used to this screen, or this navigation. So again, this is the light level we're dealing with, and that graph is maxed out. I can't hold it close because when I'm going live, it's not focusing, but look at that level is maxed out. It's about to bust through the top of the graph. I broke the scale on this graph with the sunlight. Now at this time of day, I don't think I was in Texas anymore. I may have already been in New Mexico, but same thing. There's a lot of sunlight out here, right? And getting plenty of sunlight. All right, Ralph Reinhardt is saying that Night of the Comet may give kids bad dreams. 12 years and older. A-okay. All right. So, I got a bunch of young kids. I do have one who is young that the Skibidi toilets on TikTok, kind of unpotty trained him for a while. He couldn't go to the bathroom by himself because of Skibidi toilets. All right. And I think, a lot of young kids in his generation, Skibidi toilets cause a regression in the potty training, right? And so Skibidi toilets are going to leave an indelible mark on the brains of kids, that age, right? And that's just what it is with a monumental cultural event like the whole Skibidi toilet phenomena. It's going to leave a mark on society, right? Skibidi will be something part of our culture going forward, right? And I was thinking, which one of these watches is the most Skibidi, right? And so, working on CapCut, which is like the preferred video editing software of TikTok, I was trying to recast this watch as being Skibidi. It's a very Skibidi watch. And, I'm 44. I don't know if I'm allowed to define something as being Skibidi, but I'm going to try. Maybe the youth would admire my attempt of defining something as Skibidi. I don't know what that means. Is this a Skibidi watch? Which watch here is the most Skibidi? Maybe this one. The PRJ B001. It has a bungee cord band. And, not as uncomfortable as people think. All right, Ralph Rosa is checked in. How you doing, sir? All right. Yoro Giro says hello. Thank you for your videos. You helped me to choose the watch. And now I try to save money for the GBD 2000H. All right. Yeah. Which one did you get? Yoro Giro. Did you decide? I can't remember. But the GBDH 2000 is one of my favorite. It's not in here now. You might be wondering, where's my GBDH 2000? My wife Denise is trying it out. All right. And the reason why my wife Denise is trying out the GBDH 2000 is because she was using the DWH 5600 and for all the fitness features like the heart rate monitor. And it turns out that if you're pushing a stroller, it doesn't register your walking because you're not swinging your arms, right? And she walks a lot. And I was like, you know what, honey? Take my GBDH 2000 as a GPS. And so we'll compare it. will the GBDH 2000 record your walking. And, this module inside the GPR H1000 is pretty much exactly the same as the GBDH 2000, right? And I'd show you the different, like the workouts. Like right now, it's trying to start the GPS. We're going to bypass that just to show you that, your distance and everything is not dependent on swinging your arms. So the step counter here gets to know you, gets to know your gait, and the swinging of the arms is not necessary because the GPS will fill in everything in terms of your steps, your distance, and your speed. All right. So GBDH 2000 and the GPR H1000 are better in that regard than the DWH 5600, which is not here. I meant to have it with me. I wanted to make more videos about the DWH 5600, but it's at home. So now Denise has both. And so stay tuned for that video where we will get her opinion from her experience with those watches about which one is better. Okay. Meh Dunno says, the Mudman is the one and only. Yes, sir. You are correct. The Mudman. Where is it? Meh Dunno wants to see the Mudman. Show him the Mudman. Here it is. Mudman. GW 9500. And they released another variation of this GW 9500. It has a crazy color scheme. I think it's for like an owl or something. And it's like they're reading my mind because I am becoming, a bird watcher. Okay? I thought it was just me, but it turns out bird watching is becoming more and more popular. And so, there's an owl-based Mudman, and I think it's only available in Japan. But in my next, news, the G-Shock News show, I will cover that one. I'll get some pictures. I don't have it now, but it has a metal bezel that's like the color of like an owl, and it's some special owl in Japan. I love owls. All right, I accidentally killed an owl running into it in my truck because they're pretty big. They take a while to like launch. Early morning. It's still dark. Owls around here in West Texas, they're notorious for getting clunked by Peterbilts. And unfortunately, I was very sad to hit one. But I love watching them. There's owls out here. They actually hunt prairie dogs, all right? And my brother, well, I'm not going to tell his owl story. But anyways, owls, right? So imagine a Mudman based on an owl. And this is off of memory. I'm pretty sure that it's an owl, like a watch to honor the owl. They've already made a Mudman that honors a lizard, and it's green. Okay, not available in the United States. All the best Casio G-Shocks are only available in Japan. Well, actually, except for my GBDH 2000. Where is it? The all blacked out one, the Batman one. Oh yeah, I don't have it. Anyways, Ralph Rosa is asking if I will buy the metal bezel Mudman, and we're gonna have to wait 2 weeks. Yes, that is on the agenda, but the war chest needs to be built up. All right, like I have a budget, right? And so the metal bezel Mudman, is on the agenda. And so we'll try and get it because we pretty much want to smash the two of them together. Do you guys remember when I smashed the Rangeman, the GPR H1000, into the Mudman, like repeatedly, just as an introduction to a video? And it turned out that I damaged the screen on this here GPR H1000. You see all those scratches. Well, actually, this one right here that I am clinking on with my Right in the Rain metal readiness pen. That's from the Mudman. The Mudman has these metal in the corners. It has these clamps. They protrude. They stand proud of the watch, and it's smashed into the Rangeman and caused damage All right, Rick Reed dropped $4.99. Thank you, sir. And there is a animal nodding his head. So thank you to Rick Reed. Love the content. Well, thank you for the contribution of the nodding fox. I think it's a fox. Is it a coyote or a fox? But and Ralph Reinhardt says that is one magnificent timepiece. I guess he is referring to the Mudman, because this is, I was talking about this on Tim Johnson's Real Ideal live stream with Paul Whaley. I called this the G GOAT, the greatest G-Shock of all time. All right. And the conversation came up because we're talking about football, and I was talking about Tom Brady, and it's like, what watch goes with what NFL player? And I was like, this one goes with Tom Brady, because I remember, like, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm from New England. I remember when Tom Brady, he was demonstrating how good he was, but he just was not given the credit that he deserves for how good he was, early on in his career. After he had only won 3 Super Bowls. People would split hairs and grasp straws to say why Tom Brady was not the best. And early on it was like, oh, Brady won 2 Super Bowls. It'd be like, well, so did Ben Roethlisberger. And then, it'd be like, Brady went to 5 Super Bowls. And they'd be like, oh, well, he lost 2 to Eli Manning, et cetera, et cetera. Eventually, he was regarded as GOAT. Right now, he's the GOAT, right? Well, I think there's similar things going on with the Mudman, GW 9500, where right now, it's not regarded as being the GOAT. But when you think about what a G-Shock is, it's a super durable watch, okay? This watch is super durable, okay? Name another watch that's come out recently that's as durable as the Mudman, all right? I mean, I think it's even more durable than the Rangeman, the GW 9400, all right? Now, we're going to test it out, of course, but I think there's a lot to say about the GW 9500. I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves. And, start smashing the Mudman into other ones and see what happens. Did this Rangeman take any damage? No, because I think that this bezel blocks these it blocks this metal really well. Much better than this Rangeman. This Rangeman, oh yeah, look, you could easily accidentally smash the screen. Well, I already did, but you'd smash it even more just by the way that the bezels slide off each other. So in a fight, this Rangeman actually would do better against this Mudman. Just the way that, has it been damaged? No, not at all. No, they're not. See? So this, they probably made it that way. They were probably thinking that, Jim Kincaid's going to be smashing watches into each other. So let's make sure that the Rangeman GW 9400 has some special protections against the GW 9500. That's probably what they were thinking over there at G-Shock. I don't know. All right, Ralph Rosa says, love the Mudman except for the glare. Wish it had anti-reflective coating on it. That is true. I think that's part of the reason why it didn't really take off when it was released, is the glare that he's talking about. It's because of all the plastic that's on there for having the the special overlay, right? And having that overlay on there is really cool. And but it's not used a whole lot. Here you see it used on the compass. It's used on the barometer to show you the rise and fall. And I think that you can get it to pop up for the altimeter if you set you set a reading, and then it'll tell you your altitude gain or loss. I actually don't know. I should find that out. But yeah, my problem, I've gotten over the glare. The glare doesn't bother me anymore. Oh, it's the top of the hour. All the G-Shocks are beeping because it's 9 p.m. Texas time. Did you guys hear this whole tool chest just beeped because it's 9 p.m. Texas time? Yes, so the glare, was a problem. I got over the glare. But the problem is that, like, with the lights on at certain angles, like it will totally go blank with the light on. You turn on the illumination, and you might not be able to see your time. And it's not like at very obtuse angles. It can be at random angles. And I think, I took high school physics. I think that has to do with like the polarized light canceling itself out, with having to go through the LED light, which is already polarized, going through several different polarizing layers. And then maybe this total internal reflection that the light can't escape, essentially doesn't escape straight out of the plastic. It just gets reflected back into the watch. Meh, don't know, says, I only wish the Mudman had a more flexible timer. It only has minute increases, not seconds. All right, so let's see what he's talking about on the Mudman. So we're going to go to, there's a stopwatch, but he's talking about the timer. All right, so if you wanted to set it, you'd hold down the adjust button. All right, so you have hours. So we can set it to beep in 1 hour. And these are minutes. 1 minute. Oh yeah, he's right. I didn't ever notice that. You only scroll back and forth between hours and minutes. See, right now where the minutes are blinking, right? I'm thinking, all right, press that again and go to seconds. Nope. All right, Matt Don't Know is correct. You can only go down to the minute on the timer. I did not know that, all right? I do these live streams just to learn about the watches I already own. There you go. All right. So that is a problem, right? Does this new Rangeman, does this allow you to set the timer? Let's look at this timer. Let's find the timer. You guys remember my tutorial on pressing this button. You can't press this button quickly. You have to like go dum 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 in between each button press to kind of, like time out. So you don't press it too quickly. Those of you who own this watch know what I'm talking about. Like if you press too quickly, most of your button presses don't register. All right, timer. Let's set timer. All right, now you can only go by, wrong button. So to set it, you can only go by the integers, which is annoying and stupid, but you have minutes, and it stupidly only goes up to 60 minutes, and then the seconds. All right, so you can set the seconds on the timer of the Rangeman GPR H1000. You cannot set fractions of a second, and it can only go up to 60 minutes. So with all these watches, it's like pick your poison. Like what infuriating feature does each one of these watches have or not have? Okay, and like even all right. So you remember my gripe about this watch is on the stopwatch that you start the stopwatch and it's not showing you fractions of a second, which the screen cannot do. The MIP screen cannot do that, right? And so it's like, all right, that's fine. You don't have to show me fractions of a second, but when I stop it, show me, like, you can still calculate it. So when I stop it, show me what it was, right? Well, the good news is the ProMaster Land U822. Did I just drop it? No, that's the WS 1700. On the U822, where did the U822 go? Where did it go? Here it is. All right. On the U822, when you find the chronograph, they don't call it stopwatch, they call it chronograph. When you get to it, all right, I guess I just set the watch. I thought it was in the main time screen. All right. Okay, yeah, I'm in the main time screen now. Okay, so you press the middle button once. It's not a crown, it's a button. And then you go over to chronograph, which is right here. I'm going to reset it. No, I started it. Oh, let me stop it and reset it. All right, let me start it. So while it's starting, you don't see anything except for the analog hands, right? So remember what I showed you is that this is the seconds for the chronograph, this is the minutes for the chronograph, this is the hours for the chronograph. It goes up to 40 hours. You want to see the digital display of what it is now. You have to like do a split time, but it doesn't show you while it's running. But when you stop it, it will show you the hands in the way, but it shows you hours, minutes, seconds, and fractions of a second. So, but not while it doesn't show you the time while it's running. All right. Ralph Rosa, I've seen screen protectors for the Mudman. Maybe it will help with the glare. Yeah, okay. On Amazon, I'll check it out. I mean, would it help with the glare or would it make more glare? We'd have to find out by testing it, right? I will look. It's too late for my Mudman. My Mudman has the Dickens scratched out of it. Like I rubbed it into caliche mud on the truck. So there's like caliche roads out here. It makes a lot of dust, and it got caught up in all of the. Well, I guess it's not that bad. I guess the scratches aren't that bad. There are some scratches on the screen. You might not be able to see it in this light, but yeah, it's scratched. So it might be too late for my Mudman. But my first sapphire glass watch is right here at the ProMaster Land U822. So we ought to. I remember I was working on the Ford and I scratched the Dickens out of this watch. So the metal's all scratched on the ProMaster Land, but not the screen. And the crazy thing about the sapphire glass is that like when I take off my seatbelt, like I whoop off my seatbelt and it just clangs around everywhere. It's weird hearing the watch get clanged by the seatbelt. But then like there's like I'm like, ooh, I'm scratching it, ooh, I'm banging it, and I look down at the screen and it's like bling, still perfect. It's crazy. I always thought that you guys who are obsessed with sapphire glass are like, but now after having sapphire glass, like look how clear it is, right? That's amazing. So everybody who said that the Mudman should have sapphire, I agree with you now. Like sapphire glass would have less glare, right? And it wouldn't get scratched up. So, Machete Rick says a Mudman band too stiff. It's a very stiff band, very durable though. It does take some breaking in. I think I accelerated the breaking in process with Diesel. I think Diesel made it a little bit better. So in terms of comfort, you know, the GBD H2000 and the Rangeman GPR H1000 have this like really nice type of material, much softer, much more pliable than the Mudman band. But the Mudman is all about durability. You know, you sacrifice a lot on comfort. So you got to break in the Mudman, or maybe your wrist gets broken in to the Mudman. The Mudman's the one doing the breaking in, right? So these wings have to splay out. Jim Rose tried on the Mudman because he said he had a wrist that's like a 2x4, right? And so it is kind of narrow, this gap between the wings. I mean, I kind of dealt with it, and I think that like I ended up splaying it out more than its engineering specifications would otherwise allow. But this watch crotch is what it should be called. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know if you can say watch crotch. I mean, it's like in between the two legs of the watch, between the two bands, right? We measured it in Measuring Madness, my video. So if you really have that 2x4 wrist, like Jim Rose, then you know, obviously the DX56 is the way to go. And the GW9400 is very similar, very wide watch crotch. And the Mudman does have a stiff band, all right? You may not like it, but I put up with it just because I'm amazed by how durable the Mudman is. Rick Reed, I still love my older Golfman. Yeah, the Golfman, hang on to that one. That one is like, you know, That one's like highly desired. You know, they don't make them like that anymore, right? Deech checking in. Deech, it's good to see you here. Thanks for checking in. Kent Larson, I bought and received my Casio GPR H1000 today, but I am a little disappointed because of the lack of the stopwatch feature. All right, I don't know. Like, I'm on the stopwatch now, my GPR H1000. So I press forward or reverse to get to that stopwatch. It should be there. I mean, it's not a good stopwatch. It doesn't have fractions of a second, but the stopwatch is there. Now, if you wanted like to do interval training, you wanted that type of stopwatch. I haven't tried it out, but I believe that there is a workout that has like interval training type of stopwatch. Yeah, interval timer. All right. And so like it's easier to set up in the app, but you can go through 10 minutes, you're doing whatever, like if you're CrossFit, 10 minutes dropped a blessed you know, whatever you're celebrating today as. Meh, don't know, says Jim, like any other watch brand. I particularly like Orient for dressy watches. Orient, I mean, I've seen them online. You know, it seems like a really good deal. Like you get a lot for the Orient watch, and you're not catching up with. And I wish that these watches would have that instead of PG. Well, it's like it's kind of an archaic term, like it's nowadays. Unfortunately, else to describe this except for watch crotch because lug does not describe the actual space in between the two like branches or legs of your watch band. It rhymes. Watch crotch. Beach says ordered the MEC Mudman after watching you gush over it. It's now my most worn G. Now have TLC Mudman coming from Japan. Thought on the new Love the Sea Earth Mudman coming out in November. Well, that's great, Deech. I'm really glad you love the Mudman. And it's like when you get a G-Shock, you want a tough watch. And in my experience, this is a really tough watch. And I'm glad you like it, Deech. It sounds like you have a whole collection now of of Mudmen. That's awesome. The TLC Mudman, the owl one, the new owl one, is that the one you're referring to? Because I was actually talking about it earlier. I love owls, so it's very avant-garde. The whole color scheme of the new one. Don't know if it'll be available in the United States, but I'll take more of a look at it. Take a look at the pictures in an upcoming show because I think it looks pretty cool. I looked at it really quickly on G Central, and the Mudman. I still have to get a metal bezel Mudman, so I think that I might go with the MEC. But the TLC one is really cool too. That band on the TLC. I love the mud because I actually get really dirty doing my job. I'm always driving trucks through the mud. I go and get my laundry now. It's like really muddy right now. I'll show you guys. I get mud all over me. Machete Rick says, I got that TLC from Japan. You'll like it. $350. Nice stuff. Stiff band. And Machete Rick has a 7-inch wrist, which I think is probably like the perfect size for the Mudman. All right. Gentlemen, listen, I got to go. All right. Really great seeing all you guys. Thanks for checking in. Deech loves his MEC Mudman. It looks and feels premium. All right. Well, that's making me want it even more. So maybe in 2 weeks time, we'll be able to test it out, smash it in other watches. It's like that metal bezel, though. I mean, I can imagine it scratching up, pickup trucks if you walk by, like walking real briskly. And I'm wondering, like, do these edges turn into like weapons on the metal bezel? It'll be interesting to find out. It's like a self-defense watch. All right, gentlemen, remember, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kincaid. Thanks for watching.